Now available in paperback and Kindle, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Learn how to avoid predatory females like Instagram models and e-girls in their virtual con games with Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Get your copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace in paperback and Kindle today. A new charge has been filed against the son of one of the co-founders of Buc-ee.
Michael Wasik, the son of one of the co-founders of Buc-ee's, is now facing a felony possession of child pornography charge. Last year we told you he was indicted on charges of secretly recording people with a hidden camera at a home. According to court records during that investigation, authorities seized some devices and also found numerous sexually explicit images of what appeared to be minors, including a girl aged 6 to 8 years old. According to Travis County Jail records, Wasik is not currently in custody, nor has he been arrested. His other cases are currently pending.
Now, according to reports, Mitchell Wasik, the son of one of the co-founders of Buc-ee's, is now being charged with federal child pornography charges in connection with information that was found on several of his devices. Now, according to reports, a forensic analysis of those devices found files of suspected child pornography and featured material with children between the ages of 5 and 18 years old, and one of the victims was identified from the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children as a 7-year-old girl who had been recorded back as far as 2014 in another case of another person who was charged in 2014 of possessing this child pornography material. Now, these charges were filed against Mitchell Wasik last week, and these compound the charges that he was charged with as related to 21 counts of felony invasive visual recording of individuals that he recorded with secret cameras in his home over the course of the last 2 years. And these charges, compounded with the child pornography charges, are showing us all that this might possibly not be an isolated incident as related to Mitchell Wasik, but could fit a escalating pattern and profile of behavior that I talk about as related to beta males in my book, The Man Crisis. And if things are true as related to Mitchell Wasik's alleged behavior, it's clear that this man in crisis is escalating his behavior, and as he's escalating his behavior, he's becoming a clear and present danger to all of us around us. And when I look at Mitchell Wasik's alleged behavior, it shows me that his behavior, again, is escalating in a pattern that I have seen as related to individuals who participate in sexual predation. And I go in depth on this in a chapter of my book, The Sexual Frustration of the Beta Male and the Sexual Deviancy of the Beta Male, because when it comes down to the beta male does not know how to express himself in a sexual way, in a healthy way. No, since they don't know how to do this, what they do is enter a place I call the secret world, because they feel like they cannot express their natural masculinity and natural sexuality in the real world. So they go to this secret place where they feel comfortable about expressing their natural masculinity and natural sexuality. And sadly, as they enter this secret place, they become disconnected from people. And as they become disconnected from people, they basically don't see people as people who have their own ability to be able to enjoy relations with another person. No, what happens is because they're disconnected and detached from people, it becomes about these individuals having power and being the ones who have power over the people who they see in their rose-colored reality as objects. And as they see these people as objects, they don't have a care for them at all, and they want to be the dominant one as related to the power and control they want to have as related to expressing themselves sexually. And when it came down to Mitchell Wasick, it was clear to me when I made the previous video about him that he was exploring voyeurism, and that exploring of voyeurism was about him being able to have power, being able to have power over people, because he wanted to be the God over people, and he wanted to be the God over people as he watched them in their most intimate moments of going into these rooms, taking off their clothes, changing their clothes, or going into the bathroom to use the bathroom, or in some cases of videos, watching individuals having sexual encounters on his property. It was all about him getting pleasure, about having power over people, and having enough power over people so that he could watch over them like a god. And when it comes down to these type of individuals, it's about the rush of power that they have, seeing people, again, having their intimate moments and having control over those moments where they can watch these moments and, again, be like a god over those people. That is the start of Mitchell Wasick's whole sexual depravity and sexual deviancy, because this is deviant sexual behavior. This is about, again, getting pleasure from having power over people. And it looks like to me that he was escalating his behavior after seeing and having power over people. It wasn't enough for him to have power over those adults. No, he wanted to have even more power, and that's where he possibly was looking to explore this child pornography, because he wanted to have more power, and again, wanted to get more power because he was getting pleasure from watching these children being exploited, and humiliated, and that's another escalation of his quest for power. And that really has me puzzled as related to why this male is not in the custody of federal authorities. He's still roaming the streets, but the reason why he is continuing to roam the streets is not because of the whole pending charges, but because of white privilege. This guy, basically, in and of himself, when I look at his pattern of behavior, is escalating his behavior, and escalating his behavior because he's going from voyeurism and looking to be a god over people as related to looking at people, again, in their everyday lives, to now looking to go out here and look at images, allegedly, of children being humiliated and degraded. And when it comes down to this type of content, this is something an individual has to go look for willingly, because when it comes down to this material is not available on adult websites at all. No, it's not there at all. No, these individuals have to go actively looking for this type of content for it to be on their devices. They have to actively go look and find this type of content on places like the dark web. And that's where I'm looking at this guy Mitchell Wasick's, again, alleged behavior, and seeing this disturbing pattern of escalation, a disturbing pattern of escalation that sadly many authorities are not taking a harder look at. And the main reason why they're not taking that harder look at this man's antisocial and depraved behavior as related to these alleged charges is mainly because he's a white male and the son of one of the co-founders of Buc-ee's. But it's clear to me that this son of this co-founder of Buc-ee's has a real serious issue as related to him and this and his sexuality, and that issue with sexuality is leading to him going on a road to sexual deviancy, that has him escalating his behavior to some of the sickest and most depraved behavior that I see with individuals as related to sexual predation from my years of research right for the man crisis. And people really need to take this kind of behavior seriously, because this type of individual, if they are not put into custody, are going to escalate their behavior, and escalate their behavior to go from looking at images of people to escalating their behavior to interactions with people. And what's really disturbing here is that this male has gone from looking at at videos of men and women in an effort to be a god, to look at images of children. And from my whole research and years of research, these individuals usually, after they are looking at this type of material, look to escalate their behavior with actual social interactions, escalate their behavior with actual social interactions. And it would be quite scary if this guy went out here and started preying on children, and law enforcement didn't do anything about it at all to take this guy into custody. Because from my years of research as related to these type of sexual predators, these individuals and oftentimes escalate their behavior, and they start looking to prey on real people. And that's where this guy is a clear and present danger. He's going to be going from looking at this material to going out in the street. And sadly, it's our court system that will enable this individual to go out here and participate in this type of sex crime, and possibly go out here and exploit one of the most vulnerable people in our society, which are our children. And sadly, many people aren't taking this guy's threat seriously at all, because they think he's white, and white doesn't mean a threat. But when it comes down to individuals who, again, are this twisted as related to their whole perception of sex and sexuality, they are going on a road to, again, escalate their road to sexual deviancy, because it's all about, for them, it's all about them getting pleasure from power, and getting pleasure from power from seeing people humiliated, and seeing people humiliated who cannot fight back against them. That's what this male is doing when he goes out here and escalates his behavior from voyeurism to looking at child pornography. It's showing me that he has a serious power issue, because for him, it's all about him being able to get power over another person and get pleasure from using his penis as a weapon, to go out here and actively hurt someone. That's what I'm seeing here as related to this pattern of behavior. That's what I'm seeing as related to this pattern of behavior with Mitchell Wasick, which is quite troubling. But what's even more troubling to me is that the authorities in the federal government and the state government are not taking this guy very seriously. They're not taking him seriously because they give him white privilege, but that privilege is going to make it where people who are out here, especially young children, are not going to have their ability to have protection from under the law. That's what's really scary to me, that this man who's possibly, again, on a road to depraved sexual deviancy like pedophilia could be on a road to this. And again, law enforcement's whole nonchalant response doesn't see how this guy is a threat. I mean, when it comes down to individuals like this type of individual is one that you would think that there would be an effort to take this guy into custody, and keep him there until the time of trial. Because this guy, again, he's out here, and again, if he's out here and he's got new devices, he's possibly looking at more of this type of content, or even worse, looking at actual people. Because again, I'm seeing the pattern of escalation here that I've seen with many individuals who do not have a good, healthy perception of sex and sexuality, where they go from going out here and looking at pornography, and then when that no longer gives them pleasure, they start going out here and looking to explore things like voyeurism. And as they look to explore things like voyeurism, they go out here and look to put cameras in places to watch people in their intimate moments to get power from seeing these people. And as they look to get pleasure from seeing people with power and get power over them, that doesn't do it for them anymore. And eventually they start escalating their behavior to looking to see who they can humiliate and who they can get more power over. And this whole pattern, again, of him as related to this third-degree charge of child pornography, again, shows that escalation, an escalation that I've seen go all the way up to the extreme, where an individual goes to the point where they become either a rapist or a serial killer. This is the pattern that, again, escalates over time as related to the steps as related to these individuals' depraved behavior. And sadly, a lot of people in our society, we don't want to take it very seriously, but we have to take males like this very seriously, because these men in crisis, what they do is put children in crisis, and put children in crisis by, again, making it where they experience trauma and suffer trauma that as related to the sexual abuse they have to endure. And that's something we can go out here and stop by, again, making sure a guy like this is placed into custody, and placed in a place where they can be watched and supervised until their court date. I mean, that's what's really troubling to me, is that this man is still out here, and his first court appearance is on March 19th for these federal charges. But this whole situation is one that is quite disturbing, because it, again, shows how a person who really, again, is in the secret world is bringing on possible real harm to real people, and is a clear and present danger that needs to be dealt with. Again, needs to be dealt with here and now. Because this guy, again, is, one of the most dangerous of the beta males I talk about, because these beta males who have these sexual issues, they are some of the most dangerous individuals in the man crisis, and they are dangerous because not of their sexual miseducation and their inability to understand about healthy sex and sexuality. That's what makes these men very dangerous, because they have been raised with a miseducation as related to sex, where they have been, again, exposed to things like pornography and exposed to pornography at a young age. And as they've been exposed to pornography, they explore, again, the sexual deviancy in the secret world. And since there are no men to teach them how to be sexual in a healthy fashion, they, again, further escalate their behavior to a dangerous pattern that could put all of us in danger, with these males who are a threat because, again, of that sexual miseducation that has them thinking that sex is about power. And as they go on this quest for power, they put all of us in crisis with their very disturbing and depraved behavior. Now, if you want to learn how to identify the behavior of beta males who participate in this type of behavior, so that you can be able to avoid these individuals or get a person like this some help before they wind up a danger to others and themselves, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis at other online booksellers like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you want to learn how to identify predators like this online, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. And in that book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, I go in depth on all of these online predators, both male and female, and why you have to be careful online as related to the type of content that these people are watching, and the type of content that's out there, so that you can be safe as you surf the net. And if you want to see me make more videos like this talking about the man crisis, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.